As expected, Ryan Crowley has gone to Kieran Jack, the skipper, two number 15s, and they'll be looking, I think, for their half-back line to do their rebounding, which they've done okay, but they've got to hit targets with their kicks, not just launching long bombs, which end up going back over their head.
The two preliminary finalists from last year, head-to-head again. And we're underway here at the SCG. De Boer comes hard. Crowley, Mundy, got a little high on Mundy. And Mundy's grabbing himself a free. High on Mundy after he was subbed out in the second quarter last week with a hit to the head, but good to see he's come up okay.
So they had plenty of time to get their midfield back to block this up, force the long kick.
Big long up and under. Taberner turned his back, tried to mark the ball, turning his back on his opponent, couldn't bring it down. Derricks, massive players around this, and Parker hacks it clear to the space. Dawson and Pike, though. Pike not the man you want to kick to necessarily in a one-on-one in space, but he does well here. Holds it up, waits for the cavalry. Mundy sidesteps through some traffic, floats one. Ballantyne under it and almost collected it. Smith just knocked it from him. Rampy is about to get a possession at the behind.
Yeah, taking a little bit high at the other end of the ground. This is going to be really interesting and entertaining, hopefully. Buddy Franklin with the whole forward 50 to himself. They're going to turn this into a major athletic event.
But
not with that kicks or handballs.
He thought that Malcheski was free to run, but it didn't work. Mzungu could have gone for goal, goes to the all-time great for Fremantle. Matthew Pavlich to line up and have a crack at the first goal of the afternoon.
Well, that gives a little insight, I think, Lynchy, as to where they are at as a group. The Sydney Swans, second-guessing each other. They're going to work. You're going to see a response, but you still have to be able to.
And we spoke about their quality through the midfield, but one of the things we've noticed over the last few years is their run-off halfback's been so good and so positive. That was just, as you said, there wasn't a lot of confidence and continuity between the teammates.
Picked 8 goals, 7 this year from directly out. Fist, yeah, he loves it. Fremantle first blood. Well, the bad news for Sydney is they're kicking with it ever so slightly in this opening term, and they're trailing. Pike. Mundy stays in play. Smith wrapped up. Main, good strong tackle. Laidler.
They got the extra play. This will be good work by the Dockers if they can hold it in, which they can't in the end.
Sure. So it opens up again. Drives it long. Franklin on the move. Can't get there. LRT got a hand on it. Knocked it down to Hill. And the space opens up for Fremantle. Went to the middle. Sutcliffe straight through his legs.
High risk.
Good tackle on Parker in the end. Didn't give away the high. Could well have got one. Could be holding the ball there. That didn't look like a handball either. Main. Fife dragged down. Can't break free with it. Fife again gives to Main. Can't get rid of it. McVeigh. Shaw. Grundy. Fantastic contest for a one-goal game. Richards.
Ted's up to 11. This would be a PB for a quarter.
LRT on the march.
And Lewis is working hard to give him the outlet.
So Jetta to Malcheski over his head. Parker. McVeigh. Malcheski kickable by his standards. There's that breeze. Pushed it long. Got it. First of the afternoon for Sydney.
Well, they can't get a goal from inside 50, Alistair, so you might as well try for one from outside 50. Fatigue is really a major factor for both sides at the present time. There's a lot of hands on hips. There's a lot of poor errors like that particular one from Lewis Jetta. But in the end, it took the big boot of Malcheski, who's kicked a lot more important goals than that one for the Sydney Swans. But right now, they'd be really relieved to get one.
And that's something we haven't seen a lot of. Yeah, the likes of Malcheski, Shaw, attacking that forward 50 arc and kicking the long bombs. Even, Kennedy and Jack, the midfield, has actually been able to generate a shot at goal. See Bird come off the ground. So he's in some discomfort, chatting with the doctor at the moment.
So a slight momentum shift here. The Swans trying to hunt down the lead for quarter time. Ballantyne, almost his first chance. Got one to the back of the head. Finally hacked clear. Fife to Daniel Pearce. Good one-on-one. Pavlich, Richards. Both had a piece of it. Ballantyne, the crumb. That's his bread and butter. And when he's good, there's none better.
Good response by the Dockers. Win a centre clearance, get the ball forward. I thought that Ballantyne was very stiff not to get the free kick initially. And then it just came down to who was going to push down and crumb the best. And it was Hayden Ballantyne, just got away from Jeremy Laidler.
Perfect forward 50 crumbing goal from Hayden Ballantyne. Hit big pav on the chest. Great position. We know he kicks goals around the body, either side of the foot. He's an exciting player, and quick response on the back of a clearance and a good contest from Matthew Pavlich. Hayden Ballantyne did the rest.
1 minute from quarter time. Pike, Clark. Pike against Clark with the palm down. Kennedy with the clearance. Parker. He can go long now. Gets plenty on it. Lewis Roberts Thompson getting back. Dawson into his back a little, but he did play for it, LRT. Dawson, well, that was a team out of play, deliberate. Well worked. Good spot for a ball in there for Sydney. For an instant reply to the instant reply. Fist from Clark. Johnson. Fife. Good chase on. Rampy and Taberner. Rampy kept his feet, was held. 20 seconds and counting. Shaw. Franklin lurking for him on the big left. You'd think he'd bomb it long. He doesn't. He goes with an accurate pass. The chaos ball. It works. McGlynn, sidestep, bends it around. Just enough. There is the instant reply to the instant reply.
Kieran Jack, 3 possessions. Crowley doing a pretty good job there. He's only had 1 himself, though. He's an underrated player, Ryan Crowley. We look at how many possessions his man has had, but he also is a star midfielder in his own right. He hasn't had the ball himself.
Second term underway. Sandilands, nice palm. Fife on the move, pumps it inside 50, just couldn't complete the deal with a mark from Ballantyne or Pavlich.
Well, he's been a star, Rampy. Thank goodness for their half-back line and their full-back line. Lynchy for the Sydney Swans. They've kept them in it so far.
He's really grown since being upgraded last year. Started last year as a rookie, and he sets this one up beautifully. McGlynn, Franklin, this'll work. Lance.
Oh, he shanked it.
Misses. And the crowd all got up as one.
Well, it was going to be a major finish to a great move by the Sydney Swans. Unfortunately, he had a lot of time to think about it. Probably overcooked it just a little bit.
Well, he did, and his opponent, Luke McFarlane, just dropped off the back thinking, oh, no. See a little bit of a smile from Ryan Crowley, but, yeah, that's a great build-up from Sydney off half-back, but got to finish those.
Five caught by the legs. Umpire said that was above the knee, so not a trip. Malcheski wide. McVeigh over his head. And we'll get a ball in. Just got a little bit too excited, perhaps, Lance Franklin.
First goal at the SCG as a Sydney Swan. He was just ready to flush that one straight through about 60 metres, but near broke the post.
He didn't kick one here last week against North Melbourne. Was held goalless by Scott Thompson. So it's still the duck that Lance Franklin has to break. Mundy tried to squeeze a handball through. McGlynn wrapped up. Good tackle, dragged down, and the umpire will be forced to ball it up. In fact, for Lance Franklin, Fremantle is the team that he has most difficulty kicking goals against. He's got the smallest number against Fremantle.
Well, that'd make him consistent with most forwards, I reckon. They're such a powerful defence. They've also dropped a spare back down there, sitting right underneath his feet at the present time.
Yeah, that's right. It makes it really hard. If they do get this clearance, they look to pull the trigger quickly. They're just going to go to where they're outnumbered. Here they go.
Free kick. Jetta plays on to advantage. Franklin puts it to the deck. Or kickable almost by his standards. Tried to be unselfish. Kennedy. And it works.
Did work. It was that dart pass to Buddy Franklin again, making something happen. Now Kennedy, we know he's a goal-kicking midfielder, one of the elite midfielders in the competition. Hasn't kicked a goal this year, so I think he is another one of those players. Although his disposals hasn't dropped so far this season, he needs to impact the scoreboard.
Well, it's a great kick. I think we're underselling the kick. It was no doubt something they would have talked about when they gave themselves a little bit of 360 feedback throughout the week. got to be team first and foremost, and that's exactly what he delivered.
And he gets the crowd into it all of a sudden. For the first time today, the Sydney Swans are in front. Yeah, no problems if you keep your feet and run into their legs, but if you roll into their legs on the way to the deck, you're in trouble. Fife bangs it to a good spot. Ballantyne might leap here. He used his body. Laidler dumps it. Now trouble. Ballantyne tried to shuffle it out. Laidler again. Rampy. Lewis Roberts-Thompson. No one to go too long. Jetta tried the clever knock on. Daniel Pearce feeds it back. Bang. Spur caught. Got it up just in time. Clancy Pearce. This game's gone up another gear. Malcheski feeds a handball out wide. He had Brandon Jack on the run. Daniel Pearce caught by the jumper. An enormous amount of time. De Boer crunched. This is finals like. The two teams that met in last year's prelim at Subi going head to head here. McGlynn dragged down. He can't bust it free. Bird waiting for it. They will get there inside 50. Malcheski wide. Franklin's on the move. Not quite. McFarlane right with him again. And Franklin searches for the try.
That was a try.
Gone. Gee, he was jumped on. That was unlucky.
But I think you were right to start with, Dwayne. He was looking for the boundary line. That's what the umpire interpreted as well.
Sure, you're not allowed to just jump on a bloke's back, though.
No, there used to be an in the back.
Jumper, but yeah, that must have changed that rule.
They've changed a few over time. I'm not sure they've changed that one. Ballantyne pops the pass.
That's it. That was some of the best footy I've seen this year. 30 seconds of so much pressure. Both sides getting involved. It deserved a better finish.
And this has been a good matchup too. Pavlich and Richards. Richards searches for the line. Pavlich helps him across.
You're right. The intensity's fantastic, but is the try. Just missed the mark. Good contest from McFarlane. Was it in the back?
You're not allowed to jump on a bloke's back.
I don't think he actually jumped on his back.
Clark stands up, bends it to full forward. Fife. And he's been jumped on and taken through for a behind.
For a majority of the season, we've seen this intensity from Fremantle, but we haven't seen it from the Sydney Swans. They've actually raised the bar even from quarter time. I think Ross Lyon will be a little frustrated and a little concerned that the way they're using the ball when they do actually get it, but they're well down on possessions for the game and only still going by foot at 57%.
So Laidler hit Rampy on the run, and he hits Spur on the run. Zach Dawson.
Oh, he missed his hand. Really.
Johnson.
And they're hunting him too without the footy, Lynchy. They're 35 to 26 in tackles. So when they haven't got the footy, the Swans are on today.
Well, spot on. That's what we're talking about pre-game. That elite midfield that we've seen at the Sydney Swans for a decade. You know, back when you were playing as well. Defensively, they're so good. The defensive pressure is probably the #1 focus, and then the offense comes as everything else flows.
Sutcliffe. Splendid 40-metre pass to Johnson, and now he thought about going wide to Spur, ignored him. Straight down the middle, Pavlich.
And Teddy Richards won't be too unhappy if Pavlich is getting most of his kicks across that half-forward line. Must be a bad footy out there.
That doesn't help their percentage at all.
I think fatigue's starting to
no doubt.
get a few of them. They've been running non-stop. Duffield runs non-stop, kicks it long. Sandilands, the big man, goes up, got hands to it. Malcheski, front and centre. He read it, but then dropped it. Smith feeds it back. Trouble. Malcheski, Pike, not the normal man you want, kicking it outside 50. Pearce. Caught. McGlynn wraps him up. Bird. The intensity is fantastic. Kennedy feeds it back. Parker. Lewis Roberts-Thompson keeps his feet, but there's no one long for him. Hands it up. Knocked out by Duffield. McVeigh looks up.
Empty goal square.
So Bird can roll it all the way home if he wants to. He goes back. He knows you can't kick that far. Now he has McGlynn on the run. Hits him. And he misses it. And it hits the deck. Still a chance. Roberts-Thompson caught down by Johnson. Sandilands, Neal all the way back, and Fremantle can reload. No one getting a chance to take a breath out there right now. No wonder they're spent.
And no one's getting a chance to steady on their kicks. They're missing targets time and time again.
So Sydney Swans ball. Pressure on the Sutcliffe kick. And Jetta, well, he's within range. We see him bomb these at this end from about 65 pre-game every time we come here. So he can kick this. Doesn't want to. Gee, that was clever. McVeigh.
actually, that I'm not sure who the defensive coach is in the Fremantle box, but Ross Lyon will be having a little chat to him about reinforcing a few principles at half-time. That was very loose checking. It was like everyone was back in the zone, waiting for the shot at goal, and no awareness of free players in that forward 50 arc.
If you just joined us, the biggest lead of the afternoon to either side has been 7 points. So this kick is for the biggest lead of the afternoon, and that 7-point lead was a Fremantle lead in the opening term. And he squeezed that in by a coat of paint, and they lead by 2 goals.
One of the really unfortunate elements of that victory, but his work rate, Lynchy, is top class.
Yeah, one of the real leaders in the midfield as far as his work rate's concerned.
Hanbury flicks it up. Shrug from Cunningham works. Kennedy caught by the ear. That'll be a free.
In fact, if you don't work really hard in the midfield at Sydney, you just don't get in.
And what does Kennedy want to do? Franklin's at the top of the square. He puts it in his direction. Pike's down there as well. Pike got a hand on it. Bird off hands. Part of the seas. Lewis Roberts-Thompson nails a big one. Derricks has done well against Sandland so far. Pavlich locks it up with his legs. McGlynn extracts it. They're jumped on. These two teams met twice last year for a Fremantle victory and a Fremantle moral victory. Fremantle by 25 points in the prelim, and they came from 27 down to draw here in the corresponding game last year.
Kennedy better at stoppages in this term, the Swans. Wasn't a great kick.
Over Cook's Pike. McFarlane. So the Dockers are going to have to come from behind here at half-time again, as they did last year, to level the scores on the siren. Franklin having a sit down, and you think that's where it'll stay for the last 1 minute and 14.
Baz, I've noticed the Dockers seem to be holding a player back when the opposition is shooting for goal, and they're running him on to give that extra player running into space when they get a clearance from their kick-ins.
Yeah, it's not a bad tactic, because most players, they set up the zone and probably switch off a little bit. If you give that quick break and that guy comes off the bench, it's a pretty good tactic.
McVeigh to goal. Just thumped through. Lucky.
Spot on there, Jared. We're seeing more and more of that.
Yeah.
Players interchanging when there's a shot at goal. So if they're behind, I'm sure they're not running straight on the ground, and they're just running into the space when they're
turnover. Can you believe it? With 50 seconds left, straight to McGlynn.
Ooh.
Taking the game on from fullback with less than a minute to go, when the Swans have all the momentum.
The coach's box vision will be interesting, I would have thought. And as the discussion might be at half-time, that is a costly turnover.
10 seconds.
And McGlynn knows how important this is. He's already kicked one. Having another outstanding day at his office. He pulls it a little. He pulls it too much.
He just chipped that one.
He did.
Just absolutely chipped it.
Kick inside 50. Crowd calling for a free. Kennedy comes up with the crumb. Shaw.
He's had his own footy this afternoon, or now this evening. He sure has been able to get plenty of it. He's miskicked a couple, but he's had a lot of them.
That was a miskick from the boot of Spur out on the full. Free kick, Brandon Jack. Brought back into the lineup this week, Brandon Jack. First game for 2014. Misread that, Parker. Forced to lay a tackle, an angry man tackle on Clancy Pearce. McGlynn gave it up. McVeigh back to Parker. And now the one-on-one. Franklin and McFarlane. It works for McGlynn. Got it off shoes. Kicks it along towards goal. Outstanding start, Sydney.
Midfield goals. The run-off half-back, as you said, Rhys Shaw's had a plethora of the ball throughout the course of the game so far. But the run-off half-back, you see a wave of Swans players coming through. Again, not bombing the ball forward, goes to a contest where Buddy is, spills to the ground, and that energy of Ben McGlynn, the work rate to get to the drop of the ball and finish his fine work. Just some worrying signs for the Fremantle Dockers. And most of the worrying signs for the Fremantle Dockers are that the Sydney Swans are up and going. They're right into this contest, and the polish is just starting to complement the work rate.
Well, the Dockers responded after a really poor showing against Hawthorn with a super performance last week. But right now they need a similar response because they are getting really badly beaten at contested ball.
Malcheski rolls one forward. Duffield buffeted out of it. Kennedy. Good release handball to Shaw, and now the overlap cut off beautifully. Johnson. Fife.
Great mark.
Beats Rampy, turned his back into Rampy. Now Johnson can go all the way home. He was the man last year to get them back into it. He might do likewise tonight.
Well, against the flow of the play, the Swans had their whole midfield and whole back line charging to one end of the ground, and big Aaron Sandland's got the mitts in the way of a handball. It was a superb intercept and turnover. Here it is. He's sure just misinterpreting, or was it Johnson? It was in fact Johnson. And he followed up. That was a brilliant mark from Fife. Followed up on the end of a handball and delivered.
It's coming out of you guys.
Great work from Michael Johnson. It wasn't a great kick to Nate Fife, but he did the work to take a fantastic mark. But he followed it up, and the All-Australian defender from 2013 just finished with a nice shot at goal. Desperately needed.
Back in the middle, Sandilands and Derricks. Sandilands flicks it down, hoping for Mundy. Well read by Bird to Kennedy. Buffeted out of it, Rampy, but he gets the kick away to half forward. Bounced on its end. Jack. Hanbury. Open side, Rampy again. Drives it to Franklin. Got it.
That's better from Buddy Franklin. Get in front and keep going. Now he had to slightly hold his lead because the kick wasn't super. It was straight, but we would have liked it 10 metres further out front of him.
Absolutely, but it was still the full dart at the leading target, and they've changed the way they've approached the forward 50 entries, and Buddy on that occasion has been the beneficiary with a really good mark. Just this one is that nerve-wracking distance.
Goalless last week against North Melbourne here in his first game at the SCG. For his first goal of many, the crowd hope here. And they rise. The $10 million man.
He's getting in the face of Luke McFarlane as well after flushing that one through. And it's been a great contest. We'll see Hanbury in there as well. A bit of emotion spilling over here. No one wants to give away a silly free kick, that's for sure, but Buddy's on the scoreboard and his teammates are pretty happy as well.
I reckon that was like Greg Chappell getting off the mark when he had those 7 ducks in a row.
Then trash talking Michael Holding.
I don't think anybody ever trash talked Michael Holding.
Oh, was it Andy Roberts?
Well, either of them.
Joel Garner?
Yeah, you just kept your mouth shut.
Maybe Colin Croft.
Back in the middle, good contest there. Goal for goal to start this third term after some lean patches in the opening half. Fife, he needs to get motoring. Gives it back to Spur. 2 Swans down in the middle. Taking a long time to get up.
Need that after a bag of one. There's a couple of Swans players down in the middle of the ground, very slow to get up. One being Jeddah.
I think they might have clashed heads and both are bleeding. So they might have a double blood rule.
Tommy Derricks going from the ground with the blood rule.
Just looking across the Dockers, their forward line not functioning at the present time. We'll see the head clash come forward here.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a serious clash. Derricks will be going from the ground. I think that Jeddah will stay. But Chris Mayne's the player who's had a slowish start to the season. Missed last week, as we know. Back into the side today. And he just hasn't been able to find the footy right now. So given that Rampy's on him, he's got a lockdown on Rampy at the same time. But he's a player that he's known for his tackling, Dwayne. He's known for his accuracy with his goal kicking, but right now I think he needs to rebuild his form on the former.
Holding, Stephen Hill.
Holding free off the ball. Hill to collect it. For the record, Sydney's sub today, Jake Lloyd, a first gamer. So Fremantle have more experience with their sub, Nick Subin. Long drive inside 50 to Pav. Lace out from Hill. Magnificent.
Teddy Richards wasn't overly happy with his fellow defenders and getting in that space, but very difficult to do anything about that. Great pass off the wing. Fluent ball movement. Hill hit a really nice 45-metre low one.
They need their captain again here, as they so often do. To the booze. That won't bother him. Crosses the 50, strikes it well. It drifts. Only a behind.
And Tommy Derrick, boys, he's gone down to get his eyes stitched up. I shouldn't expect him too far away, but he's getting his eyes stitched.
He could be the man they sub out anyway to bring on the smaller Jake Lloyd. We'll keep an eye on that. Straight through Jetta's legs. It might work. Brandon Jack goes to ground. Clancy Pearce to Crowley, who hasn't had a lot of it either. Neal all the way back. Johnson, good half volley. Sutcliffe. They've got a runner inside. Fife didn't want to go inside. Now he does. Duffield. Mundy's still waiting for it. Fife ignores him again and turns it over. Kennedy, no one to go too long. Only had short options. McVeigh, Hanbury, he gets his moment. Over kick, Cooks the kick. Spur. Tried to get it to Sutcliffe. Lewis Roberts-Thompson wrapped up, dragged down. Again, a hard, tough contest, and the umpire will need to sort it out with the ball up.
He's in two minds, Hanbury, with that kick. He didn't know whether to go with the low dart or just have a shot at goal. I think you attack that 50-metre arc, it's goals.
Goals at the G.
Lewis Roberts-Thompson was ridden by Dawson, and the umpire said that he dragged Dawson to the ground on his back, not vice versa.
Guys coming out the back here, please. Take that meter.
Sandlands tried to head to the boundary. Mundy, Now Chesky stands start and blows it.
Clear. Thank you. Wow.
McFarlane chips it wide to Crowley. And he takes it to the line. That'll do. And reset for a ball in. No other options. And John Lombard on screen. He's been in the press a little this week. Some articles in the Sydney Morning Herald this week suggesting that Sydney lose today. There could even be talk about his coaching job tenure.
Oh, big call,
Bit
that.
harsh, yeah, absolutely. And some of the writers today said that's rubbish, but they might discuss Franklin if he doesn't fire. To half forward. Clark can't get near it. Laidler, caught. Grundy, little fumble. Jumped on. Ball up.
It'll be a fall from Grosh, given he got an extension of 2 years about 2 weeks ago.
There was, I think it's the Sydney Morning Herald chief sports writer and Peter Fitzsimons were discussing it. Peter Fitzsimons in the paper today added to it, saying it's rubbish. Valentine towards full forward. But when you say it's rubbish that they should be thinking of sacking the coach, you're still actually talking about the coach and the tenure. Rampy, and there he is, John Lombard on screen. A Sydney Premiership coach, of course, in just his second season at the helm. Franklin, one-on-one. McFarlane, good strength. Almost threw him out of it. Johnson left it behind.
Oh, Zach
Kennedy
Dawson
jumped on. Dawson lucky to get out of it. Got out of it with a possession to McFarlane. The spin. Kennedy misses to the near side. They have to hammer down right now, Sydney.
He's putting a pretty good game together, Joe Kennedy at the present time. Wasn't overly great last week, but he's responding.
Yeah, 23 disposals, obviously kicked the 1 goal.
Clark wide. Pavlich on the run. Richards didn't take the ball, but took Pavlich, and that was a win in itself.
Interested in your thoughts on Buddy Franklin. At the moment, the ball's 150 metres away, but he keeps on sucking himself up here midway to the forward 50. Given athleticism is his great advantage, you'd reckon he'd be better off just holding his ground in the square.
Well, yeah, I think he looks like he's more comfortable getting up the ground and trying to turn McFarlane around. He's not comfortable in the one-on-one contest against McFarlane. I think he's almost conceded that at the moment, that he doesn't want the ball to put on top of his head, so he's going to charge up the field and try to turn him around, and that's probably the case in point you were talking about. He slows late on his lead to hopefully get inside and then get behind McFarlane and head back towards goal.
What he needs to do, Lynchy, is actually put a bit more work into the first 5 metres of his lead, try and get off McFarlane, because McFarlane's got really good closing speed.
Pavlich, slick play onto advantage from a free kick. The Pav doesn't like his chances, now he does like them. Now he's told to move it on. He's had his 30.
A quick 30.
Gee, that's amazing. To the top of the square, Mazungu.
That also was amazing that he was able to take an uncontested chest mark. I think everyone was a bit confused, including the umpire, as to whether Pav could go back and after taking 15 or 20 seconds then declare he was going to have a shot at goal.
Yeah, now I think this kick long, and for Muzungu to take a mark there on his chest, I mean, that's up there with that catch he took in the Big Bash at the Wacker. Very nice catch. This one's a bit easier.
They're still back some momentum halfway through this third term. Drives it towards goal and breathes some life into Fremantle's attack.
Well, it's good conversion. They've got to convert now if they're going to catch up to the Sydney Swans. Take your opportunities, and that was a pretty good one. Nice little mid-kick from Pav. There's half a dozen players there it could have gone to.
Well, that was the thing. As you said, it was a mid-kick. It wasn't the 55-metre long one, and Muzungu read it better than Reece Shaw on that occasion. Everyone was expecting the long 55-metre shot at goal. Things starting to turn around as far as the disposals are concerned. Fremantle up by half a dozen early stages this third term, and they're using the ball better by foot. 71% against Sydney, 50%.
From the ball up, Fife almost got it away, did to Mundy, could go all the way home, shrugs the tackle, has a bounce for 2 in 30 seconds. He's got it.
Well, there's some of the great highlights of the SCG, and that is just a clearance goal like that from Mundy. There'll probably be a question mark on how the handball came from Fife to Mundy. Let's take a very close look. Whether it was a layoff or a handball, probably still debatable, but what a dangerous player this bloke would be if he played full-time with the SCG.
Oh, geez, yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of the midfielders over the years. Once they take that first receive, attack that 50-metre arc and just straight through it. And Ross Lyon, not overly happy with some aspect of that, but he'd be very happy with the fact that he kicked a goal. Mundy, he had his shorts halfway down around his knees, but still strong enough to kick it through.
From 28 points down, all of a sudden 16 points down, and with momentum big time back in their favour. Parker, Hanbury, Swans try to steal back that momentum. Shaw heads wide to Jetta. Clancy Pearce holds him up. Franklin wants the long bomb, goal square, one-on-one. He leads to the pocket. McFarlane held him up. Franklin's ball. Forward pocket, Sydney.
Well, he's pushing back with his arm, and McFarlane almost reflexly grabbed hold of the arm. He would have had that done to him many times over his near 300 games, Luke McFarlane. So, bad mistake from him, gives Buddy Franklin an opportunity.
For the headlock to start with, possibly a free kick, but there's an obvious hold of the jumper, and on that occasion, Luke McFarlane paid the penalty. Probably an early free kick against Buddy Franklin, but the umpire rarely sees that first one.
On the good side for a left footer. He'll open this angle up with what he calls the natural arc. He doesn't, in fact. Head straight towards goal, and the system works. Franklin's got 2.
Well, they needed to respond after 2 quick goals from the Fremantle Dockers, and Buddy's just starting to sneak into the game. He's had his hands on the ball 11 times. He's had the few marks as well, and there have been a number of these sort of contests. On that occasion was the holding free kick, but Luke McFarlane doesn't give him any space whatsoever, but it was an obvious hold of the jumper. But importantly, Buddy went back, and with that straight run up Dwayne, he just slogged it through.
Funny how everything old becomes new again. The straight run-up might be back in vogue.
Unusual, but it was much straighter than he normally does. Just having a chat to the coach on the phone, just reinforcing the way he needs to go about it.
I think the coach is just ordering another 3 or 4 of those beforehand and getting them deep, and I think that's his spot on this ground.
There's Mundy with yet another clearance. The clearance leader from 2013. Hot again in 2014. Bird to Rampy. Malcheski, Kennedy about to be hunted down. Just ducked back. Sold to McKitton. Kick was terrible. Subin has been subbed on, so they've used their sub Fremantle. Subin out there getting a touch. We'll find out who's done for the afternoon shortly. Cunningham. Long kick, wing, Shaw. Splendid pass.
It was a great kick and well read by Shaw.
Back inboard, McLean trying his heart out.
Or Reese. Looks like Taberner's the sub. Has been subbed out.
Okay, so the big man's gone for a small. Didn't have a massive influence, Taberner. Just the 3 possessions. Short pass, Shaw to Jack.
Sandilands 50 metres off the ball here in the corridor, waiting for the long one.
So he pokes to the pocket away from Sandilands, and it works. Parker. And he does that quite a bit. Drops in the hole.
Great kick that was. The pull kick again. Don't just blaze away to where Aaron Sandilands was. Had to go towards the boundary line. We'll see Sandilands in the corridor. And it is Parker there by himself in the pocket.
He's having a good season, Luke Parker. He got the 10 votes from the coaches for memory 2 weeks ago against Adelaide. He's featured a couple of times. He's been a sharpshooter.
He has back-to-back 26 possession games leading into this. And the Swans holding strong.
Again, great answer. Great use of the ball. And we continually talk about the long bombs to the goal line. And this one here, 3-quarter kick, probably 40 metres away from the big defenders and certainly the loose ruckman in that defensive 50 from Fremantle's point of view. And a really good finish here from the pocket. The wind's starting to really drop away now, so perfect conditions for footy.
2 in quick succession for Fremantle. And the response, 2 in quick succession for Sydney.
Seven into the middle, you can see on screen. Needs to be watched. He was a big influence last week when he was on the ground. And he adds that extra midfield grunt, and away goes Mundy again through the middle.
Absolutely. Just missed Fife with the handball. Fife dragged down and ball up. Ragdolled into the turf. Nat Fife. He's got a man hanging off him with every possession. Flick down, Derricks. Gets his own clearance. Malcheski just knocked it on. Sutcliffe left Jetta, and he left Jetta in space, and he spears that to Franklin. Not paid, yes paid. For a second, everybody took a long, deep breath, and Franklin could line up again from just on the 50.
Well, again, it came from one of the half-backs for the Swans being released.
Yep.
It's as bad as I've seen Fremantle control their opposition half-backs. They normally have a very good link on them. And Buddy Franklin, well, he would have got one and possibly the free kick as well.
For a third,
30 seconds down.
all of a sudden, Franklin's come to life. And this is for the biggest lead of the game. That's big time. Suddenly, Buddy's worth the money.
Well, the order was in for 3 or 4, so he's got one. But once again, it's these half-backs. Reece Shaw has been, he's had his own footy, and if he hasn't had it, Rampy's had it. Malcheski's also had plenty of it.
And McVeigh's been involved as well. We see Jetta getting involved in the play. Hasn't had a massive day, but usually he gets out in space, so it's important he finds that space. But you're right, half-back is where the real reward is coming from the Swans at the moment. Three unanswered goals for the Swans. They just owned the football in the last 5 minutes of play.
Mazungu's pushed forward, and he's gone to make it a one-on-one in their forward line as well.
And some bouncing issues in the AFL this year. Quite a few of the umpires have had their problems. And Jacob Mollison's had a few today. Third one he's had to recall. Pavlich can't drive his way through, starting in the middle for the ball up. Hand off to Kennedy. Franklin's on the move again. This will be for 4. Bumped out of it. Went for the chest mark, strangely enough. Sutcliffe left it behind. Hanbury scoops it up. Jetta straight through the middle of them. From the pocket. Misses.
Geez, they're up and about, though, the Sydney Swans. They are running on top of the ground. There's so much fluency about their play. Ross Lyon clearly has had enough, had a gutful of the amount of rebound the Swans are generating off half-back. Looks like he's just manned each one of them up.
Has to. They've just been able to, as you said, they've been able to free too many players off half back up and a big no ball. That's
You mentioned that with... It wasn't Spur last time you mentioned it was Johnson, but this time Spur caught the same disease.
and there's a free kick to Ryan Crowley.
Okay, so
it's been reversed, gone against Kieran Jack. Brandon Jack was involved as well.
Johnson has got Ballantyne long, who hasn't seen it for a while. Gets his skates on, sizes up the big sticks, knows this is his moment. He shorts to Mzungu. It travelled 8 metres. Back to Ballantyne. Parts the seas again to Fife. Stand start. Teddy Richards is everywhere.
He can't get away from the ball, actually, Ted.
Good to see the run power of Ballantyne, though. He basically went on a journey, had no idea where he was going, but he kept backing himself, and he plays like that. Sometimes it opens up, sometimes it closes.
Could have been very costly for the Sydney Swans, that reverse free kick, or what was going to be a bounce at the top of the goal square. Free kick to Crowley against Kieran Jack, it appeared. They got away with it in the end.
Barry Hall.
Yeah, we see Buddy Fung kicked 3 goals this quarter, but he's anchored himself back inside 50 a bit deeper, which is exactly what you need to do. I spoke about in the first quarter, you need to anchor yourself back on a short ground like the SCG. He's done that, and it's worked beautifully for him.
Absolutely. Goal-kicking superstar Barry Hall.
And after the serve that Baz gave a few of them on the way past this afternoon, Lynchy, you'd be surprised if there wasn't a response, particularly LRT. He has lifted.
Neil caught high.
The whole team's lifted from the very first bounce as far as work rate's concerned, and certainly their skill execution's been a lot better in recent times.
Havlich calling for it back to the square. It's where the Pav's running. He's got 3 to beat, though, and the big fist of Smith thumps it over the line.
And Pav's just giving a few of his teammates a bit of a spray, just allowing the third up defender. He was looking for a one-on-one contest, just didn't get the chance to go one-on-one where he'd be very comfortable.
Corey Enright has been regarded as the best small defender in the game for the past decade for all Australians, but Nick Smith wouldn't be far behind him. He has been a fantastic, consistent player on dangerous small forwards, and again today he's getting the job done.
Hanbury a free for in the back to Malcheski. Parker having influence in this third. Gee, he was spun 360, still got the handball away an enormous amount of time. Spur to Fife. Shrugs the tackle. Crowley. Little fumble. Subin just on. Hasn't found the pace of it yet. Clark tries to get it up. Gang tackled. Dragged to the ground. And the trademark Swans are back. 35 points to margin. Biggest margin of the game right now. Fremantle came from 27 down last year here to force a draw. Need to get their skates on shortly here. Rampy back to Cunningham. Bangs it to the wing, McGlynn.
Again, they had the extra man across half back. It wasn't the nice, smooth, open run that we've seen throughout the day, but they had the extra one back, so the panicked handball had numbers and support.
And this time Barry Hall, Buddy Franklin got the reverse gear going, and he went back to the goal square. Earlier in the match, he was coming up the ground, as you said.
Pearce to Pearce.
There's a fracas on the wing.
There is to Duffield, and the emergency umpire is out there. That's between LRT and Sutcliffe. In the meantime, ball on the outer side to De Boer. Got Mzungu short. Needs to be a good kick. It is. Still a ton of time left in this. Fremantle 35 down. Swans have their biggest lead of the game.
Great kick.
Ballantyne.
Johnson.
And Johnson, the man who drifted down last year to keep them alive and then had the kick to win the game that Reid marked on the goal line to cause that draw. And he drifts down again and has the momentum on his boot. This is for his second for the quarter.
Well, LRT at that stage was off the ground. He'd just come onto the ground as Johnson started to take off, but he was engaged in a little bit of a stink with a couple of the smaller Fremantle players.
Smaller, angrier types.
They were very angry with him, weren't they? But I think given he's got that premiership medallion, he'd win most battles.
Just inside the paint. Got under it, but it looks okay. Exceptional. He's got 2 for the quarter.
And they need to find a little bit more of that. The run from defence, as we've said on numerous occasions, from half-back for the Sydney Swans, they've had that. An uncontested ball. See, Hayden Ballantyne was in space, uncontested mark, been able to hit the target inside 50 with Johnson drifting down. Again, another uncontested mark. Haven't seen enough of that from the Fremantle Dockers, and they're certainly still trailing with uncontested possessions. They need to get that run from behind and support.
Big 5 minutes coming up here for the Dockers. They can just slam on 2, possibly 3 goals to give themselves all the momentum. And it's now. They need their big guns, their star players, the Pavlich, Fife, Mundy, etc., to get hold of this footy and get some score on the board.
Sandlands knocks it down, but straight to Pike. He gets the clearance. The 233, Sutcliffe, Brandon Jack. Brandon Jack wrapped up. He didn't have any prior opportunity, but he did go to ground with it, and the umpire makes him pay.
Pearce and Hill are the other two, the genuine match winners, the guys that can create things when they get the ball in their possession. Things start to happen.
The outside runners, I mean, you need to win your share of contested possessions, no doubt about that. But this is where they haven't been able to get that run, find the spare player. Sydney pushing up, putting pressure on the Fremantle defenders, just not allowing him to run and bounce off halfback.
McFarlane to Mundy. Good hands. And here's Pearce of the Daniel variety.
Just got away from McGlynn, who tried to help out with Mundy, but they've approached this man on man. It's working at the moment.
Long to Sandlands. Got the reach. Off hands Fife on the run. He hit it well. Just left it behind. The back heel might work. A little hand up. Open goal. Ballantyne's the man. Crunch. Knocked down beautifully by Bird. Swans on the rebound. McGlynn to Franklin, a one-on-one. Brandon Jack and Sutcliffe, rolling ball. Sutcliffe gets there first. Brandon Jack's quick.
Oh.
He's slick. He's clever. He's all class. Back in and magnificent.
I'm a big fan of this kid, Lynchy, for this very reason. He's got the pace that the Swans absolutely need. They've lost a couple. Mitchell out, Rowan out. This kid's got genuine pace. Hasn't got a lot of the footy so far, but makes defenders very, very nervous. And Ross won't be happy that boy went to the ground.
Spot on. It was just a nervous player and didn't do enough with it. It was Sutcliffe. Just had to keep the ball going forward, but the pressure of the pace, as you spoke about, Jared, from Brandon Jack, was enough to make Sutcliffe panic. Here's the long ball out in front of Jack. But it was the
major twist, wasn't it? But it came back to that turnover. The kick that was going to Hayden Ballantyne, just a little bit high, made him sit under it. And a good spoiler gain by Rampy.
Fremantle at breaking strain again right now. 3 minutes from three-quarter time. Malcheski to Franklin. McFarlane got a fist in the way. Dawson back to McFarlane. Back to Dawson. Subin. Someone needs to show some poise here.
Oh, Sandlands is in the middle by himself.
De Boer. Sandlands well spotted. It's a 1-on-3. Fremantle had the 3. Sandlands to Mundy to Daniel Pearce. This looks better. Mains in the pocket, goes longer. Pavlich, top of the square. Richards, Pavlich, straight through them all. Neal gets a chance. A roller. He went along the deck. And Rampy's there again. Just needed to lift that up.
And again, desperation from the defenders. Rampy, very good work. Great one-on-one contest. Richards to get the ball to ground. Here it is. Rampy dives, just slaps it through.
That's snappable through the air from there.
Yep.
Laidler told to go. 2.5 minutes left to three-quarter time. McGlynn.
Generous 15 metres from the umpire.
Kieran Jack, the co-captain, holds it up. Says, let's take a breath, boys. Be happy to take this lead in. 34 points at three-quarter time. Pike, Sandlands. Sandlands with the fist. Fife just on. Mundy. Tucked up against the line, and Crowley sees it out.
Once again, that interchange being at exactly the right time for Fremantle. Baz?
Well, Jared, you said Lewis Roberts-Thompson's turns like the Queen Mary, but geez, he turned around pretty quick with this little scuffle. This is out of character for Lewis Roberts-Thompson, so I don't know what happened, but LRT is all fired up down here, boys.
Yeah, and that's he nearly gave a 50-metre penalty away when his man Michael Johnson took the mark. Not sure what did upset him, Baz, but you're right. Those two blokes from the Dockers, they were pretty keen to make a point.
Well, if anyone would be able to work out what got him upset, Baz, I'm sure you would. Ball was half forward.
Hit.
Could be something minor too from past experiences. Duffield. Crowley, that was touched. So it'll be a ball in.
Well, everybody's getting inside everybody else's personal space and face right now, but at the moment, the Swans with their lead are going to have the last laugh, and you just sense that the Dockers are going to find something, Lynchy, because they've got a trademark they need to uphold, and that is fight it to the death.
There's a lot of spice in this and plenty of time left. A full quarter and 1 minute 20 to come. Duffield, Mundy, Fife.
Great gang tackling.
Back to Mundy. A mark from this would be huge. To the square. Pavlich might have been held.
Yeah.
He was.
Against Teddy Richards. He had turned from the ball and appeared to have the arm around Pav as he faced his direct opponent. Head's not overly impressed, but no defender is.
Again, the two doing the damage was Mundy and Fife in tandem, getting the ball away from a very congested clearance, getting it forward for Pavlich to do the work.
Just needs to complete the deal. The captain. Well and truly within his repertoire, this. And that could be monstrous with 45 seconds to three-quarter time.
One more would be really handy for the Fremantle Dockers. Plenty of time for both sides to get a goal, but there's the hand across the neck, as you said, Dwayne. It was there, and despite the
locals not happy.
Anguish of the locals, who weren't overly pleased, but it was there for sure.
Had the eyes off the ball. Pav would be happy with that one just before the end of three-quarter time, and if they could sneak another one, it'd be very handy. But they've got back into this game. Forward 50 entries in favour, +4 to Fremantle Dockers. See Lewis Roberts-Thompson back there as a spare man. Contested possessions heavily in favour of the Dockers.
Five to Pavlich is up. Teddy got a fist on it. Down to Malcheski. Down to 30 seconds and counting. Fremantle have the numbers. Hill's about to chase it down and send them back to attacking 50. Dying stages, third term. Clancy Pearce, crunched by Bird, free kick. Play on to advantage. Daniel Pearce long. Pavlich! How good is he?
Well, they're the danger players. Mundy's been a star in this term with 13 and 5-10, but they need some assistance. Neil's been handy, but if they're to win this, the Dockers, they need Hill and they need Pearce. The two left-foot match winners to work in tandem as well, get plenty of the footy and get it forward.
There's the siren. That's a genuine contested mark. The kick wasn't great, but great strength in front position.
Well, if his last one was monstrous, this could give them so much momentum and enthusiasm at three-quarter time. The comeback's not beyond them. The Pav delivers. Last year, here, Fremantle came from 27 points down in the last quarter to steal a draw. The margin right now is 22.
Oh, so you can change direction.
Back pocket. Fans are into it. Sydney looking for their first SCG win of the season. They've come into this 1 win, 3 losses. Season almost on the line, and Fife floats in. Marks in front of Hanbury.
Well, it's a big battle now, Hanbury and Fife. Got to learn a few more tricks against Hanbury than just allowing him to get to the front spot, Daniel. Hanbury.
Great hands by Pavlich. And Fife does have a fair bag of tricks. So's Richards, slaps it back. Here's the Hanbury-Fife battle again. Kept alive. And still alive. Hanbury scoops it up. Brilliant. McVeigh. Short. First game of Lloyd. Not sure how long his leg is. He chips it. Oh, superb. Franklin from 45.
His teammates come from everywhere to pat young Lloyd on the back for that really good pass. Just waited for Buddy to push off his direct opponent, which, as Barry Hall said earlier, he needs to do. Ran back towards the goal square, pushed his Hanbury's effort, stays in the contest, stays on his feet, quick hands over the top to McVeigh.
15 seconds.
That itself was a good kick. This one to Buddy was even better.
This one for number 4 for Franklin. You'll hear the roar from 48. There's a new king in town. It's Lance Franklin.
Well, it's an exciting match for Buddy right now. Getting on the scoreboard, clearly they've got to get the job done, got to complete the work. And this game not over by any shakes whatsoever. But this was just one that probably should have gone out. And just a couple of serious tackles. They've been too hard and too tough for them at this stage. 13 minutes to turn that around for the Fremantle Dockers. But Buddy's having a big night.
Four goals a couple of weeks ago for Sydney against Adelaide in their only victory for 2014. He's got 4 today, and they can almost see the finish line. 13 and a half minutes left. 28 points to margin. 5 breaks free. Just knocked on the kick. Drags down Balcheski. Holds it in.
Great work right from Nat Fyfe. He almost got the launch away, and then it was a mucked up kick, but he charged in and executed the tackle.
And the flick down. De Boer rolls it inside 50. Kieran Jack was waiting for it. Lewis Roberts Thompson on the run. Johnson with him. Both get there same time. Sutcliffe tried to flick it out. He was jumped on. And now he's in trouble. Plucked from his grasp.
Great contest.
And well umpired in the end, you'd think, as Jake Lloyd gets up in the number 44. Been on the rookie list a couple of years. There he is, J-Lo, in the 44. And playing well in his first game as the sub.
Is that his nickname, or you just give it to him, Pot?
I think it's his nickname.
Okay.
Ball on the wing.
Clearance has been dominated by the Fremantle Dockers, but as we spoke about pre-game, it hasn't been a strength of the Sydney Swans to scores from stoppages, but they're certainly dominating that aspect of the game today, as with turnovers. 7 goals, 6 to 5-2 in favour of Sydney from turnovers.
Good tackles by Lloyd. Dragged him down. Slick hands, Jenner. Sizes up the big sticks. Burns them all off and nails it. Yeah. 89 to 55. Huge leapers go up. Umpires found a push free. Fremantle ball. It's 33 points the margin right now. The biggest margin of the game was 35. De Boer.
He's missed them. The players inside forward 53.
Free kick off the ball.
50 against McGlynn.
Okay, so this will bring De Boer. He was about 12 metres outside the 50, so he won't be directly in front. He'll still be just outside the square and on an angle. Had the free kick and 50 taken him inside the square, he would have been directly out in front. It's still a goal he should kick.
Say it another minute, please. Thank you.
9.5 minutes left, and they're still alive.
Well, they're hanging on the Fremantle Dockers. I just noticed Chris Mayne coming on for his first run in this last quarter, giving Johnson a rest. Here's the 50 as he just comes around.
Over the mark.
Jumped over the mark. The umpire's spot on. Good decision from the umpire. But he wouldn't be the first centre-half forward or bloke who plays that high mid-range forward position to get lost on this SCG, Chris Mayne. There's plenty of better players gone kickless and goalless as centre-half forwards on this ground.
No doubt it's a unique ground to play on, Gerard. Those wide wings, extremely different to Patterson Stadium in Perth, which is the polar opposite. Long ground, very narrow wings. And when you're looking for spaces of forward, you can easily get stuck out on that far wing, which is pretty much 110 metres from goal.
Pavlich, long knock to Hill. Straight out of the playbook, that one, towards the pocket, Laidler, and that's almost on the full. Just clipped Crowley's foot and out of play.
Yeah, it was a nice little pop tap to Stephen Hill from Sandy. Big Sandlands using the space pretty well over the last few weeks. Let's have another look. There it is, out in the space. Didn't quite get hold of it.
Well, great tap, that one.
Ballantyne hammers it inside 50. Crowley. They still sense they're in it, Fremantle. They're still fighting hard. Clancy Pearce, flick back. Ballantyne, he's got the kick away. It's a roller, a tumbler. They've got a couple in a row.
And they're those clearances that can mean the difference. Centre clearance, Sandilands to Hill, get the ball forward, and then another clearance. This time just a junk ball, but a couple of mids.
He got clubbed as he kicked it as well from Kieran Jack, but got it on the boot and had the very favourable end-over-end bounce and just missed that right post, snuck through for a goal. Still a sneaky chance.
Barry Hall, what's the momentum feel like right now down there?
Oh, look, it's tight and tough. We know that, boys. But I think Fremantle and the coach Ross Lyons has made a really good move. Michael Johnson's gone forward. I'd really try and isolate him and Matthew Pavich, who's red hot at the moment. I'll try and isolate them. They've got to play on. They've got to get it inside 50. Instead of trying to save this game, they've got to try and win it. Don't worry about leaking scores. Let's try and score ourselves.
Chris Main's a defender. He's got Jetta back there, so unusual position for Main.
So Fife playing out of the goal square now for Fremantle. Ballantyne clips it. Hill pokes it up. Fife at the back. Pavlich got to the back, and they've got 3 in 3 minutes.
Well, they're the match winners. It was Sandlands again to Hill. When Hill gets it, he generally makes good decisions. This one wasn't quite pure, but it gave Pavlich the advantage. Great stuff on Ballantyne again.
But it gets the ball outside that congestion so the players can run into space. That's what you want to do. And from a ruck point of view, great tactic. Get it over the congestion as Ben McGlynn gets a finger in the eye and goes to ground. But over the back, Pav too quick. Great goal, important goal. Brings the margin back to 15 points, and they're clearing the congestion at the moment, Freo, and that's where they're hurting the Sydney Swans, on the outside.
3 goals in 8 minutes. That is very doable. Back in the middle, Sandland's dominating the ruck, and he thumps it. That's as good as a kick. Well read by Smith. Got there first. No one to go to. Pike tries to trap it in there. Stolen by Neal. Couldn't quite break free. Kennedy holds him up and gets it off. McGlynn. Hanbury, they find the space. Jack, a little floater. Dawson, little nudge. Umpires put the whistle away. Main, Crowley, Sandlands. Back inside to Main. Got his arms free, turned it over. Parker inboard, stolen back by Daniel Pearce. Just bangs it long. He knows he's got the numbers down there. Spur left it behind. It's tough for everyone in the kitchen right now. The heat's right on. Fife scoops a handball out. Johnson dragged down, didn't have it. Umpires have put the whistle away. They found it.
Which way is this going?
Sydney free.
Oh. Well, Johnson very stiff there. Docker's very stiff. They've plucked one from the umpire that wasn't officiating.
Parker. Good collect.
Jeez, that was frenetic.
3 kicks in it. Cunningham on the wing. 7 minutes left and counting. They played a draw here last year, these two. Sandlands in defence. Arms on it. Couldn't quite. Main dumped. Good tackle, Hanbury. He rolled him in the tackle. And the umpire will have to sort this out, surely.
Hit outs in favour of Freo 14-2, which is not overly surprising, but clearance is 10-5. Here's the free kick. It's gone in favour of Kennedy. Just a high tackle from Pearce, just the arm across the shoulder.
Neal almost threaded his way through. McLean got the throw. Is that on the full? It is. Free kick, Fremantle. Now will they go open side here quickly? Duffield's running for McFarlane.
They've got their overlap.
Oh, gee, the umpire's told him to go back behind the mark.
Well, that's cost them a valuable overlap run off deep defence.
Forced him to go to the congested side. Clark up. Couldn't quite. Jack pops one inside 50 in hope. Kennedy tries to spin away. Got his arms clear. Flicked it back. McVeigh, captain today, to the pocket. Jetta. He's quick, but not quite that quick.
Sandland's just screaming out that he wants somebody else to take this.
Zach Clark, he said, get up there. I'm not going to get anywhere near that. He's worn out.
They just can't kill Fremantle off. Fremantle hanging in there. McLean gave it up. Jetta from the pocket. It's a bomb. Goal square. It won't score. It's knocked through.
Well, behind's a bonus really for the Dockers. They get possession. Will they go down the middle? Because they haven't got time to just muck around with possession footy. They've got to get some direction.
3 goals in 6 minutes now, the equation. And there you go, straight down the middle. Clark Sandlin's the knock-on, and it works. Pavlich read it beautifully. He needs a handball option. Flicks it up to Bohr. Mzungu, no one's in the goal square. Tried to roll it forward. Jack. Smith. And now Hanbury can run. Time in their favour. Long to Franklin. McFarlane. Franklin. It's been a superb battle. Down to Clancy Pearce. Crowd thought Franklin deserved a free. Pearce tucked against the boundary. Swans have the numbers. Jack.
Got to keep running the Dockers. They're just starting to flag a little bit here, Lynchy.
They are, and just missing some open players as well.
Pike goes up. Not quite. Kennedy crumbs it.
Jetta's getting out the back here.
Hanbury. Franklin just beyond his range.
Well, a huge opportunity missed by the Dockers. Sandlands was brilliant, albeit predictable. He knocked the ball long. Pavlich gets it, and then they butchered 2 opportunities to go forward. Getting it forward into the goal square and across the line would have been far better than a turnover midfield.
Well, taking 30 seconds off the clock here, almost as good as a goal.
He's been just such a good player today, Josh Kennedy. He's had 37 possessions. He's kicked a goal. He's set up half a dozen others, and he might just finish it.
Played like a centre-half forward there, just led across beautifully.
Tough kick, but he is a star. From the 50, hits it well. Can't kill him off. There's still 3 kicks from the lead. 17 points. The behind, in essence, doesn't matter.
Well, this time Sandlands has come to the other side of the ground. They're not going to telegraph the work down the middle. They've done it anyway.
Only just.
Main to Dawson. Back to Main to the open side. Neil to set it all up. Short to Pearce. Made the ground. They don't know how long left. They look at the scoreboard. There's 25 gone. Long bomb. Pavlich down there. Johnson down there. Lewis Roberts Thompson. Not quite the second grab. Mzungu tries to break free. Pavlich tries to lay the tackle. Hill out of nowhere. Out on the full.
1 point. Just snuck through
Just
for a minor.
squeezed in.
Just got to get a zone in place. And Sydney need to soak up the atmosphere, the pressure, hit targets, control the tempo of the game.
They've met every challenge so far this afternoon, the Swans. Pike comes hard. 3 kicks, 3 minutes 44. John Longmire, edge of his seat. The whole box on edge. Their season's on edge. They're 1 and 3 coming into this. They could be 16th at the end of the round if they go down. Neil flicks it up. The Sydney Swan chant rings around the SCG. 1 more in their home. They know it. The crowd know it. Bird dragged down. Jumped on. Neil flicks it up. And Duffield thought about taking it out. Caught by Rampy. That could be ball. You bet it is.
Well, there's about 3 throws in the middle of it. They were both handoffs, and I think the players are looking for the boundary line. They're a bit confused. I think the Dockers expecting the whistle to be blown.
Throw in, they're going to pay here.
It exactly was a throw-in because it looked like it. The players were playing like it was. They were waiting for the call.
Well, a few seconds went off the clock there as they tried to decide what was going on. They can't put them on. They're gone. Sandlands. Big smash forward. Clark read it well, but he left it behind. Shaw the sidestep. Hammers it wide. More seconds tick down. Duffield will get back. Bird will ride him to the line. 2 minutes 54 left.
It's an area of the game that Zach Clark's got to get better at. It was a low ball coming in. They're talking premierships. They're talking grand final appearances. The Dockers, they've got a standard that they've got to meet, and they've got to get better if they're to go one better. He's one player that's got some issues, got great strengths in the air. Good tap ruckman, but ground ball he needs to get better at.
Back into play. Sandlin's the key, and he's wrapped up. Still a chance, the Dockers.
Had a huge last quarter, Sandlin's.
Worked hard.
He's had a good season.
Yep. He'd have a lot of Brownlow votes, Dwayne. I reckon in the first 2 weeks he would have been racking up a couple. They all had a bad third week and they all had a good fourth week.
And it opens up, strangely enough. Sydney left the corridor free. And McFarlane, he gave him 10 metres on the mark attempt.
The players loose everywhere, actually, Freo. Sydney have dropped right back deep.
Duffield squeezes
Great
wide
kick.
to Johnson.
Same
Well, this
spot,
is
isn't it?
bizarre. Exactly the same spot that he kicked a goal last year to give them a chance at a win.
It's a nightmare. Actually, Sydney just dropped far too far back defensively and just allowed too many short, uncontested passes up the field.
He kicks this. The margin will be 10 points with 2 minutes left. The game almost hinges on this. It's across the face. Pavs up. Slapped away. The crumb. Dawson, unlikely hero. Clark the fumble. Hanbury. But Johnson's waiting for it. He's up. And knocked away from him by Jack. Crowley to the line. Taken out, ball in. We're down to 1 minute 51. And the crowd are into it. Everybody knows how important this is. The Swans' season momentum hinges on it. They haven't won at the SCG yet this year. And they won't be back here for 5 weeks. Sandlands knocks it down. Cunningham tries to hack it clear. Daniel Pearce. Hill. Sandlands. Not 15. Neil turns it over. Jack hammers it wide. Franklin, if he gathers this, he's got no one to go to. Looks up. There's not a soul home. He's got the first gamer. Jake Lloyd. Open goal if he gets there. Takes it out. Not a bad move. Well worked, J-Lo. Ball in. 1:21 left. And the Swans are home.
Good pace from Lloyd as well. Buddy, good kick. Put it out in front of his rookie teammate. And now the ball's 160 metres from the Fremantle goals.
That was a lot better than a behind. Ball knocked down. Hanbury. Lloyd under it. Knocked down to ground. Fremantle still trying their hearts out. Subin the chip kick. Pavlich turns around. Back to Subin.
Got to go possession. No one forward of the ball, but they've still got to somehow take it forward with hands. Great tackle.
Pearce dragged down, and that will do. Lloyd, Rampy. Swans fans know this is a huge win for the Sydney Swans. Jetta.
Oh, kick.
Superb pass to McGlynn, who can put a big exclamation mark on what's going to be their best win of the season.
See, that was a good kick from Jetta. Good turnover. Again, the pressure on the Fremantle ball carrier was really good, but in defence, I think it was Pearce running through the middle. He had no one to kick to whatsoever. Didn't get great support around him, but
A couple of times it's happened in this term, though, and they've butchered it.
Yeah.
It's something they need to address going into the depth of the season.
Just clips to the inside of the post, but it won't matter. Good crowd in here at the SCG today. Swans have been under some pressure. Their coach has been under pressure. Franklin's been under pressure. But right now, they are back in the reckoning for 2014. The Swans, the fans fell in love with, are back at the SCG.